Okay, so today we're going to be trying to answer the question of Sweetwater's 55-point inspection. What is it? Is it actually even anything? Or is it just a marketing gimmick? Okay, so you've just gotten your new guitar from Sweetwater and you're excited. You open up the box and then you were instantly crushed. How does that happen? Well, we're going to try and find that out today. Because I recently got a guitar from Sweetwater. It was valued at $12.99, but was it actually worth the $12.99 I paid for it? So the reason I went to Sweetwater was basically because of this. The 55-point inspection, and I'd been buying mostly used guitars for quite some time, and I wanted to try a new guitar. I felt like it was time to splurge, maybe to just try something new and just get that new feeling. Sort of like when you buy a new car, you buy new shoes, whatever, that new feeling, excitement. I wanted to feel that again because it's been a while. So here we are, 55-point inspection. What is it? What do you get? You get a card signed off by your first and final inspector. Your first inspector does all the basic work. Your final inspector is the one that signs off and says, yeah, your guitar is good to go. And that's kind of where the problem is today. We're going to dive into why I don't think this is really worth much. The 55-point inspection is really not worth a whole lot. So let's quickly go over what you get with the 55-point inspection. We're not going to go through everything. We're going to just get a quick glance over. Supposedly it sits for 24 hours in a climate-controlled professional handling station. We're going to get into why that's not true. They verify the contents. Yeah, the contents were verified. Cosmetic and construction, that's also something they didn't pay very much attention to. They inspect the finish and polish, fingerboard surface, neck and joint, strings, plastic parts, hardware, inlays, binding, nut, and headstock. Hardware check. They basically go over all the hardware on your guitar, make sure it's functional. But in the hardware section, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 things that are not checked because they don't belong to my guitar. So it's not really a 55-point inspection depending on what type of guitar you get. Same thing with electronics testing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that don't relate to my guitar. So what are the 6 things that don't relate? Pickup splitting, tapping, onboard tuner, acoustic pickups, onboard preamp, onboard effects, 13-pin pickup. Some of that stuff is usually more like outside of the norm. You know, like I feel like maybe the 55-point inspection should be the norm, not outside of the norm. Anyway, playability check. Tuning machines, bridge, saddle, string, height, tune pitch, frets, neck relief, action. This is another thing that why I don't think it's worthwhile. We're going to get into the guitar in a minute. It's right here. It's the Reverend guitar. Tune and polish, packaging. A lot of these points are just things that would happen anyway. A lot of these points are not checked properly. So there you go. That's your 55-point inspection card. Now on to the guitar. This is the guitar I received. It's the Kyle Schutt signature model from Reverend Guitars. At first glance, it is a really good guitar until you pick it up to start playing it. I'll start with the most aggravating problem with this. It was listed as new. Yet, this is still plastic, okay? The plastic is still on the pick guard, but the plastic shows heavy signs of being played. There's swirl marks. Right here, the plastic is damaged, which means this has been played a lot. They said it's never been in anybody's house. I say that's a lie. Anyway, we're gonna get into the binding. The binding on the body, both sides, where the binding meets, it's not a seamless meet. You know, it's not correct. There's the gap, and when they filled in the gap, the colors don't match, so it's obvious that that's where the match was. The binding really should have been better. That goes to Reverend Guitar, but it also goes to Sweetwater for not catching it. Same thing right here in the finish where the fretboard and the body meets. It's almost indented, like maybe they didn't get a smooth finish, or maybe the fretboard is not sitting smoothly to the neck. Again, something both Reverend Guitars and Sweetwater should have caught. Sweetwater did a 55-point inspection. They should have caught it. Chip in the headstock, at the very tip of the headstock. They should have caught that. They should have caught that as well. Again, inside the body, this is also a Reverend thing. Remember, $12.99 is what I paid for this. And so keep that in mind. We're going over some of these issues, why I think it's a big deal. Underneath the finish, there is either some dust, some sort of debris, some sort of finish, and at least 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 different locations. So here, 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 and here. All right. Reverend should have caught that during their QC. Sweetwater should have caught that and contacted me and told me about all these things before they ever shipped it to me. Spoiler alert, Sweetwater did offer me a 10% discount, which equals out to like 130 bucks or something. Now let's get on to the neck and the fretboard and the Sweetwater's climate controlled system. Some of this stuff you could possibly blame on FedEx, but I highly doubt it, all right? I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I highly doubt it. All of the all of the frets were rough. I did the best I could with it. I have to go take it to a shop to get it finished because every last single one is uncomfortable. The rosewood fretboard was dry as shit. Like, I had to condition it. I believe I conditioned it 3 times, and it looks like it might still need at least one more to really get it where it needs to be. So why did this guitar not go back? Because overall, after all of those problems, it stays in tune the way I want it to. It's got a comfortable neck on it. It sounds great. So that's why I kept it. But this is what happens when you get a 55-point inspection from Sweetwater. So do you think the 55-point inspection is actually worthwhile, or do you think it's just more snake oil marketing gimmicks? Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which will probably be right over here or over here.